Dating dilemmas. Why did she pull away? Well, this is a loaded question because there are so many different reasons why a woman will pull away when dating. And it's virtually impossible to guess why if you don't know the reason or you don't have some idea of the reason, if they haven't verbalized this to you. And if they haven't verbalized it to you, I suggest you cut your losses. If it's early in the dating, process, and it's not a really established relationship, I would say cut your losses because that's a sign of immaturity, and it's also a sign of possible wounds that haven't been healed, or, like I said, maturity hasn't matured, intellectually, immature, possibly. But anyway, the reasons that women pull away. Well, most women are driven by emotion, which makes it a little bit tough because emotions are typically not overly consistent. And that makes it a lot more difficult to kind of pinpoint the reason. And they also tend to not be overly willing to share all of the story with you because they want you to figure it out because that's how they, think that they feel wanted and loved. I don't know about that, but, it shouldn't be a guessing game all the time, and it's not healthy to make somebody guess all the time, where they stand, and it's not a good practice to allow people to do that to you. So, again, walk away, cut your losses if someone is playing those games with you because it's not healthy. But typically the reasons that women walk away, they vary from person to person, but it may be emotional safety. And what this means is maybe they have, noticed a pattern of inconsistency or, game playing, things like that. Not knowing where she stands, if she's really that important to you. And women like to test consistency. This is a fact. Women do this. Kind of test that on you and test where they stand with you and test what they're worth. And that's how they gauge their worth to you based on how consistent you are and how much you'll chase her. So remember that. And another one is past triggers. If she's had past wounds, then she has past triggers. If she has not healed those wounds properly, certain things will trigger her back to that past time that she was hurt, which will make her withdrawal. If this is the case and you can get that out of her to where she will explain this to you, there's room to work together on that if it's worth it to you and worth it to her. It's something that definitely, needs to be worked on and worked through if you want to continue to travel down the dating game and possible relationship and all that. But if she's not able to verbalize it to you, it's probably better to walk away. Especially if she's already pulling away, you're already halfway there, and it can be a lot of work, which may be worth it if you are already kind of invested. You may want to choose to try to work it out, but don't get your hopes up too much because you never know. You never know anyway, but if there's already this going on early in the relationship, I would say cut your losses. It's not worth it. The next one is loss of interest or attraction or connection. That's simple. If she verbalizes this to you, great. You're lucky. If she's just pulling away from you, there are ways to tell, but it may require a little bit of effort. And like I said, it depends where you are in the dating relationship. If you are, invested heavily, you may want to try to, pinpoint it. If not, cut your losses. But typically women who have lost interest or attraction, they've probably told you without telling you, in various ways. If they become like they don't want you around them, or they're keeping secrets from you, or they're avoiding you, or just, act just kind of like they just really don't care. To me, if somebody acts like they don't care, they don't care. Because somebody who really does care won't put on an act like that. So that's kind of my take on why women pull away. There are, like I said, there's a lot more reasons, but it's up to you whether or not you want to continue to invest and try to figure it out and work through it, or if it's early enough in the dating game with them and you're not really heavily invested, I would say cut your losses and move on. Good luck.